What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again with another Man City video, where today we're going to be doing a Manchester City transfer update. Before I do crack on with this video though, do make sure to go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Sofascore. Sofascore are going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest football scores from around the grounds. They'll keep you up to date with the latest match information, along with the latest team news, the latest statistics, and all your good footballing needs. Not just limited to football scores and information, it's got you guys covered for all the sports that you want to go and follow. So do go and check out the Sofascore app. The link is in the description, or you can use the QR code on screen. It'll take you to the download page to download the free Sofascore app. Very highly rated, and anyone that does download using my link in the description or that QR code on screen does help to support the future content created here on my channel. So we've got no contract news to speak about in today's video. We do have one story in the outs, and we've got the very latest on Claudio Echeverri. Now, Sports Witness have said that if Claudio Echeverri doesn't get 50% of minutes with Bayer Leverkusen, where he's currently out on loan, by January, Man City will be recalling him. Now, it's been confirmed that he isn't in Pep Guardiola's plans for this season, so if Echeverri is recalled by Man City in this January transfer window, it's expected that City want to find another club for him to go out on loan to. Now, Man City did want Echeverri on loan at Girona. Echeverri didn't want to go to Girona on loan. He ended up picking up his own loan instead, where he wanted to go and play for a top club playing in top competitions, and wanted to play for Bayer Leverkusen, where he's struggling for game time, he's struggling for starts, he's struggling for minutes, which isn't ideal for his development. And this, again, just going down the problem that you have with the loan route, because if a player is going to be playing regularly but playing for a team who's not playing in the top competitions, then it's fantastic experience, in particular for a young player coming over from South America, and he has to adapt to a new culture, has to adapt to a new surroundings, a new league, a new style of play. It's very difficult to be able to do so, and what's really important is game time, more so than anything else. Doesn't matter if he's playing in the Champions League or not. It just matters about how many minutes they're getting and how many starts they're getting. And I'm starting to think here that Echeverri probably should have listened to Manchester City and gone out on loan to Girona. He's picked out Bayer Leverkusen as the club he wants to go on loan to instead, and it's just not working out. So it'll be interesting to see where he does end up in the January transfer window. You would presume that City would want to keep him in Europe and play for another club. Could be at Girona, could be somewhere else. We'll see what does happen. Could be quite a benefit to have Echeverri play in England and get further used to English football and the styles of play and stuff. We'll see what does happen. Now, Renzo Pantich, a journalist in Argentina, has said that Echeverri isn't happy about his lack of minutes at Leverkusen, and he does want to leave, and he does want to return back to Man City in January, but it's thought that Echeverri would be keen on making a return back to Argentina and going back to his former club, River Plate. But the problem I have is he's gone out on loan from Man City to get European football experience, and the whole thing here is, he wants to try and take a step forward, and him going back to Argentina is just going to be 2 steps back, because he's just going to return back to Man City at some point in the next 12 months, and all of a sudden you're going to have a player here who's, again, just not got that much experience in European football, and Man City will just want to either sell him or loan him somewhere else. So rather than delaying the inevitable here, he needs European football experience, and Man City have got to find the right club for him that are going to give him them opportunities and minutes. As I said, that club doesn't have to be playing in the Champions League. They just have to be playing in a competitive league, playing competitive football, getting him used to what is going to happen when playing football in Europe. And as I said, if he's going to be playing for Man City and playing in England, I'd try and stick to the basics here and find a club for him on loan in England that's willing to give him minutes. I'm having a look, for example, at Wolverhampton Wanderers, sitting bottom of the Premier League right now, struggling. So they need all the help that they can get. Sending him on loan to Wolves, for example, would give him a good 6 months or so of Premier League experience. Wolves might get relegated. They might end up being not a very good team. Echeverri might help them turn it round. Who knows? But it gets him that experience, and that's the whole point of loans, is getting the experience. And if they're not getting the minutes, then it's up to the player and it's up to Manchester City to act accordingly, and that's what I'm expecting to happen in January. I'd be surprised if City decided to send him on loan, though, back to Argentina. If he does, might that be the end of Echeverri at Manchester City? Because I can't see that going down very well at City, so we'll see. Anyway, moving on to the ins, we've got a new name, comes in the form of Said El Masa from FC Koln over in Germany. Now, he's a 19-year-old German central midfielder. Brighton and Hove Albion were linked back in the summer transfer window. They had a bid rejected worth €20 million, which is £17.57 million in today's currency exchange rate. Brighton do remain keen heading into the January transfer window, according to BILD over in Germany, but they do say that Man City have also joined this queue for El Masa. Now, they say that Man City are one of numerous clubs interested. Normally, this would mean that Man City's name just being put out there to try and get a party a better deal, whether that be a new contract, or the buying club's going to have to pay more to FC Koln, and or the buying club's going to have to pay more to El Masa in personal terms, and a bigger agent fee, of course. But I'm not too sure. I see right now that Man City are going to be making this move in the January market. I wouldn't be surprised to see City angling towards a younger player, because we don't have to register them in the Premier League due to their age. But unless we see players leave, I just can't see City going down this route. So for a midfielder to be brought in, it'd need a midfielder to leave. And for example, I'd probably, looking at the squad, you'd think would be Kovacic. But if Kovacic leaves, I'd have thought City would want somebody with more experience than a 19-year-old who's never played in the Premier League. But I might be wrong. Now, moving on, we've got the very latest on Marc Guehi, and the Athletic have said that Liverpool are struggling to make this transfer happen. Bayern Munich apparently are ready to step in. Bayern Munich already have good relations with Crystal Palace over the Elise transfer, and they would like to use them relations to try and bring the Englishman into the Bundesliga. Now, Guehi's a quality homegrown centre-back. Manchester City, for me, have to be all over this if he is available. John Stones, he's out of contract next summer, still needs to prove his fitness. We've got some question marks over homegrown Nathan Ake as well, potentially wanting to leave to try and get more minutes ahead of the World Cup, to try and get into the Netherlands squad for the World Cup. So there could be some question marks there, and if there is an opening in the January transfer market for a homegrown centre-back to be signed, City have got to be all over Marc Guehi as far as I'm concerned. 25-year-old English centre-back, Newcastle United also previously been linked. Guehi's contract up in the summer for Crystal Palace, so he would be a free agent, so it would be well within Crystal Palace's best interest to sell Guehi in the January transfer market. Will City make it happen? We'll see. They should be trying to make it happen as far as I'm concerned, but I have my doubts about whether they will. And with Liverpool struggling, surely City have got to be making their move. I'd be surprised if Arsenal's name weren't getting chucked out there as well. He's a real good player, Guehi, and no surprise to see a top team like Bayern Munich also interested. Anyway, moving on to the final transfer. Another central midfielder that's been linked with a move to Manchester City is Morten Hjulmand from Sporting Club de Portugal. Now, he's from Denmark, 26 years old, plays as a central midfielder, and Record in Portugal have said that both Manchester City and Manchester United are keen on bringing Hjulmand in to the club. Now, he's got a value set at €80 million, which is £70.48 million, which I think is his release clause as well. However, the Football Insider have said that a €70 million, which is £61.67 million, apparently some negotiation made on the release clause where £50 million was being chucked out there, but I don't know if that number's just been plucked out of thin air. But it sounds to me like you're looking at, if you want to make a Hjulmand transfer work, you're looking at somewhere between 50 to 60 million pounds, and apparently Sporting CP would be open to doing some business in the upcoming January market. Football Insider does say that Man City and Man United are keen, but they also say that Tottenham Hotspur are keen as well. And I do want to put a stress out there that Man City will only be doing big bits of business in the January market if they decide to sell players. And I'm looking towards Nathan Ake in terms of wanting to try and get into the Netherlands squad, struggling for minutes at Man City. And if that continues to the end of the season, he won't be going to the World Cup with the Netherlands. Same can be said with Mateo Kovacic, struggling with minutes at Man City. And if he's not getting regular minutes, I imagine Croatia will be having a good look at their squad, and if Kovacic gets a hint that he might not be going to the World Cup with Croatia, I imagine he could leave as well. As far as I'm looking at right now, though, I know that Netherlands manager has already mentioned Nathan Ake specifically about not being called up to the international squad because he's just not being played often enough. So I imagine that if Man City were dipping into the market, I could see Nathan Ake leaving. Maybe Kovacic might leave, but he's not really hinted at towards it. Ake kind of has already hinted towards it. So it could be a case that a homegrown centre-back leaves, and that's why I put a lot of emphasis. If Marc Guehi is available and we want to bring in a homegrown centre-back, there's one available right there for a good price because his contract's up next summer. So interesting. We'll see what does happen. So that has been today's transfer update. If you did enjoy this video, please do leave a thumbs up. Well, let's say for 200 likes. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Do get your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. It is free to subscribe. I'm going to keep you guys up to date every single day here on YouTube with all the latest City content. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out my social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And finally, do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Sofascore. I'll see you all again real soon for the next video. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.